thing that'll make them ring is the carol that you sing right within your...
Everything had cost more than she had expected. It always happened like that. Only $1.87 to buy.
He asked if she would help him. He saw her answer in a glance, and she did the chores.
I'm Jake Hibbard. Welcome back, and Happy New Year. It's 2025, and well, this is what's going on most recently, so I think that's what we're talking about. I'm just kidding. But much like Santa Claus, I am always watching at least the SVI news stream. So if you do something on here like that Christmas special, you might end up on this screen as well. Well, also over the break, we had some Coach of the Year announcements, ×3. Congratulations to cross-country head coach Ty Draney, football head coach McKay Young, and defensive coordinator Kelly Merritt, all winning the Wyoming Coaches Association Coach of the Year awards for the fall. And next weekend, it's all wrestling, both on the schedule and right here on the show as well. We'll be taking a deep dive into what is coming for the 2025 Star Valley wrestling season. And speaking of wrestling being in action this week, let's take a look at the schedule of what's coming up. Of course, we've got wrestling at the tournament in Box Elder, Utah tomorrow and Saturday, and girls basketball at home in Star Valley, 7 o'clock, or on SVInews.com, hosting Mountain Crest. The Star Valley boys will be at Mountain Crest, that game starting at 7:30 on SVI News. And then on Saturday, the boys, like I said, continue wrestling at the Box Elder tournament. The girls will be at Mountain Crest, Utah for wrestling, and then the girls basketball program again hosting, this time Preston, a 3:30 tip time. And at 4 o'clock, it's the boys at Skyview. Now, as the Star Valley boys look to get back onto the court tomorrow, they do so with a 1-5 record. Now, losses early on in the year, not always a bad thing. Hey, it means maybe you're playing some pretty good competition. Maybe you're learning some new roles. And as far as Star Valley, they are pretty new from a year ago. But let's take a look at last year's All-State selections to see how the state of Wyoming itself pretty new all around. Remember last year's state championship Central team? Yes, Star Valley's already seen them. So you know Sam Shumway's gone, as is Joe Sawyer. He's at Gillette College playing basketball. Sheridan's without Garrett Spielman. He's on the Wyoming Cowboys basketball team. And Cale Hamrick is with Hutchinson Community College at baseball. And last year's Defensive Player of the Year for Cheyenne East, Drew Jackson, he's on the Wyoming Cowboys football team. On the western side, the region champion Jackson Bronx, Andrew Hanna, does not return. He's at Hobart College playing basketball. Star Valley's Max Jensen, of course, gone. Riverton's Parker Paxton is golfing for the University of Colorado. He just had the third best freshman season in their history. And Derek DeVries, the other All-Stater for the Wolverines, departed as well. Natrona County's Colton Rogers gone and on the Casper College basketball team. And Theron Archibald for Green River on the Northwest College basketball team. So who's back? You've got Gibby Williams, the junior, for Thunder Basin. And for Laramie, the runner-up last year, you've got a small, big combo of Jaden Smith, the senior point guard, and Neil Summers, the 6'9" Wyoming Cowboys bound forward. In a poll recently done on wildpreps.com, Laramie is taking nearly half of the votes as for who everyone thinks the 4A boys state championship will go to in 2025. Sheridan number 2, and then East and Star Valley coming in number 4. Campbell County 5th, and Kelly Walsh is 6th. I would say for the most part, voters are just looking at who was the runner-up last year, and like I just showed, who's coming back. And to add to Smith and Summers, Laramie also returns their number 2 scorer, Gabe Sanchez, who's shooting 52% from 3, and on the opposite wing is Braden McKinney with a 44% clip from beyond the arc. And what about that Wyoming-bound Neil Summers? Well, he's 6'9", 250 pounds, and he's a lefty. That's enough to make you a unicorn in Wyoming, but he's got good post moves. I look at post moves a little bit like a route tree in football. Look, we can get into this another day. Mr. Summers knows the progressions of the post game and how to stay patient to let the defense give him the eventual opening. Oh yeah, he can also shoot threes, and he's a really hard wall to run into on a screen. As for the point guard Jaden Smith, he's the leader of this team, and he's been playing since he was 6, as both of his parents, Josh Richardson and Megan Smith, were professional players overseas in Switzerland. Both Smith and Summers play on the same club team in the offseason. So when you size up Wyoming and who you should be seeing come March, a lot of coaches are looking at Laramie as maybe the top team as well.
So anybody that's going against them has to deal with a group of kids that have played together now for years, and it's really most of them their third year as varsity players too. They're starting at a different level than pretty much everybody else is because they're all back. They're so well balanced. Summers in the interior is a force, but then they're shooting like they surround them with 3-point shooters.
Coach Shumway can talk about Laramie so familiarly because he faced him last year in the semifinals at state, and despite that slow start, he's hoping to see them one more time. Well, let's get back to what's right in front of us. Tomorrow night at Mountain Crest and Skyview on Saturday. Mountain Crest is an interesting team. Nico Dimitrikov leads them with about 12 points per game, and Parker Andrews and Trey Cooper also score in double digits. From what I've seen this year, these guys really run, sometimes to their own detriment. They're averaging as a team 13-plus turnovers per game. That being said, they can score in transition, and they can shoot as well.
They play fast, they do, and they do kind of freelance, which when I've watched them this year kind of surprised me too, because in the past their system has been a lot more structured as far as slowing it down. So they're different this year than what they've been, but they've got some length, they've got some athleticism, they love to attack off the dribble. That's what they want to do first, and then the 3-point shot comes off of that. They present a challenge. Utah's a different level of basketball, so no matter who you play, it's these are kids that have been playing ball usually year round.
As of this taping, Skyview's 6-6 overall. And most recently are winners of back-to-back games over Bear River and Ridgeline on December 31st. The team's led by point guard McCade Roll with 11.5 points and off guard Zach Oxborough's 14 points per game. And expect this to be a good final matchup to practice on perimeter guard play, as next man up is Region when Star Valley takes on Natrona County at home January 17th. And that's it for me. I'll see y'all crazy kittens and cats next week with a breakdown on wrestling.